So as you heard, I'm Martha Denton. I'm a freelance visual communication specialist, and I've made thousands of PowerPoint presentations for Fortune 500 companies, Congress, and most recently for the New York City Marathon. So that's why today I'm going to give you a PowerPoint presentation about PowerPoint. PowerPoint is my favorite software program. It seems to be a business's favorite software program as well, since they keep doing all their presentation materials online, offline, and printed. Some people are kind of a hater on PowerPoint, like this dude, Edward R. Tufte. He says things like, death by PowerPoint, PowerPoint's stupid, it's messing with all of your cognitive whatnot. I don't agree with him, even though we all blame PowerPoint. I'm going to blame people that don't know how to write PowerPoint presentations. Yeah, you need to flesh out your content, and you need to learn a little bit about visual communications and visual communications conventions, which is why today I'm going to teach you about visual communications conventions and what I like to call the 4-minute MFA in business graphics. Yeah. Oh, this is a little longer than I thought. All right, first things first, you need to start with your audience. Who is your audience? What are their visual preferences? What the hell do they want to hear from you anyways, so what should your content be? If you don't know that, I highly suggest you go around and you ask all kinds of questions. Maybe the conference planner, people that you know are going to be the audience, etc. Ah, yes. And the first thing that you do after you know your audience and you know what your content's going to be is to do your storyline. I like to do my storyline straight into PowerPoint as a storyboard. As you can see, here's the storyboard for my presentation today. Don't read ahead. It's coming. Here's also the font size guide that I like to put together. As you see here, I've split it up by your audience size and the minimum point size on the right side so the people in the back row aren't squinting the whole time. Sometimes you inherit somebody else's PowerPoint slides. In that case, you might need to give them a haircut. The biggest thing to keep in mind there is that you are your presentation, so maybe you need to cut everything off the page that you should be speaking to instead. No little stickies, no big circles, etc. You can also use visuals to help you get words off the page. I like this book by Nancy Duarte. This is great for conceptual charts. You might know her work because she does the presentations for TED Talks. She also did the presentation in An Inconvenient Truth. For data-driven charts, I like these two books here, especially this one here, Gene Zelazny, who's a guy that I used to work with at McKinsey. And this dude over here on the left is named Stephen Few, and he's written all kinds of books about that. Go to perceptualedge.com to learn about that. So I think we can all agree for visuals that clip art sucks. It's ugly, it's played out, everybody's used it, and did I mention again that it's ugly? Really ugly, although that cat is kind of cute. Good visuals, on the other hand, which I like to refer to as awesome visuals, are visuals that bring a connection between you, your audience, and your content. They're also legal, which a lot of people pull things off of Google, which isn't cool. So where do I get images? I'll go to iStock Photo. They're on the cheaper end. If you have a good eye for photography, you might want to go ahead and do the Creative Commons route. Yeah, woo! I'm a big fan of going through Flickr myself. So for placement on the page, the photographers in the room can tell you more about the rule of thirds. As a presentation designer, all you really need to know is that people like their eye. They like to split up the page in thirds. They also like to split up the page in halves. And if you're on the fancy end, you might want to put your content around your actual image. Here I've got the questions around Earth where we're talking about climate change. You probably recognize this Earth from Queens. Yeah, Queens. So you should also probably learn a little bit of something about color. Those of you who went to art school, you probably already know the color wheel. Those of you who didn't go to art school, I suggest you learn something about the color wheel. You should also keep in mind, though, your audience's preferences. I like to use, when I pick color schemes, I like to use psychological cues, as you can see from this lovely chart that I pulled from Pantone's Guide to Communicating with Color. It's not the end-all be-all, though. You should really find out your cultural preferences of your audience. And as my fellow presenters tonight can tell you, it doesn't matter how good your visuals are if you don't practice, practice, practice. Poor delivery can completely mess up your presentation. And if you liked what I had to say, I'm going to self-promote myself here. Please come to my website, marthadenton.com. Or you can check out my blog, marden928.wordpress.com. And thank you.